Welcome to the Becoming a Principal podcast, a podcast for aspiring educational leaders. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Matt. We are high school administrators in Ontario, Canada, and we're excited to share our experiences with you. This podcast is designed to provide inspiration and support for educators considering leadership roles. We plan to discuss a range of topics related to educational leadership to help you on your journey and to become and thrive as a school leader.
How you doing today, Matt?
End of the work week again, sunny outside, the days are getting nicer. Can't complain. Can you?
No, you can't.
No.
And we're recording this, we're almost into June, which is like, an awesome month.
We're feeling good.
In education, and we're still feeling a little fresh.
Yep.
Okay. Because we got lots of things to do still.
Yeah, let's go.
That's right.
Let's go.
No, we're not done yet. Nothing's over
It's
here.
a busy month, I'm learning.
Pedal to the metal here.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. In this episode, we're going to be discussing finding inspiration in your role. So leaders often have a strong sense of purpose and a clear vision for their schools. This sense of purpose contributes significantly to their job satisfaction as it aligns with their daily activities. They align their daily activities with their personal and professional goals. Engaging in continuous professional development and seeking inspiration through learning opportunities can enhance principal satisfaction by fostering a sense of competence and growth. So we got a few questions we're going to ask each other here about how we sort of go about finding and maybe even keeping ourselves inspired in our role. So I'll start us off, Matt. What are the primary sources of inspiration for you as an administrator?
Yeah, well, there's many, right? I look at, I guess, like, honestly, number one, like what people are up to in our own building and just visiting with them in their classrooms and seeing what they're doing and what their students are doing. It's incredible. And coming from, math, right? And thinking about some of the things we're doing there. And now as an administrator getting out more and seeing different classrooms, you look around, you're like, wow, great things happen here. And people are trying cool things and it's working. It's keeping their kids engaged. And you can tell because, again, like it's June next week and things are still rocking in their classrooms. People are showing up, kids are having a good time and they're learning, right? You just see a lot of joy around the building when that happens, and you think to yourself like, wow, like it kind of fires me up, to do a good job for those people.
It's awesome,
right? To want to be part of that.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing. You see how much people put into their
craft.
Their craft,
yeah.
And like they're inspirational. They're very inspirational. Just watching some teachers in their element. It's you're right. That gets me fired up too. I know today we had a professional development day here. And there are various locations across sort of our region and beyond that there was some professional development for our teachers, a chance for people in common program areas to sort of get together and chat. So I know you went to a site. Do you have anything that inspired you there?
Yeah, 2 sites. Yeah. 2 sites.
On the tour.
Chasing my tail a little bit, trying to find where these people were. But just seeing, we went to a post-secondary school, just seeing like the opportunities that are available at a college for where our students are going to go. And I think that provided a source of inspiration for our teachers who were there to see like the next stage in these kids' journey and, just the incredible things that are happening. And I think it's so important to get outside your own area, your own building and see what is going on, what other opportunities are out there. And now the challenge is how do I do that and infuse I'm seeing some pretty cool things in the college. They have a great investment of money and there's a lot of development in the skilled trade specifically here. And it's like, okay, now how can we tag on to that? And how do we light that fire here for our students to get them to the next stage of their life?
Absolutely. Yeah, I had a similar experience. I didn't go to 2 sites, I went to 1, but it was out of our region. So that was a fun trip. But again, like you said, thinking about how our students, what their experience is like here, and then how does that translate to the next place that they go, and just the options and opportunities for them as they go further. And what I loved about the conversation we had, so we were at a college site specifically for like transportation, like automotive, mechanical, and some of the professors there, the teachers there, and the staff there were connecting with our staff as like open Q&A. And the conversation was amazing because it wasn't necessarily about the technical aspect of their jobs. It was about how do they inspire people to get into the skilled trades and promoting the skilled trades. So our teachers from the secondary sites are so interested in promoting the pathway, which is I never thought that was what I was going to see today. I thought we were going to talk about technical aspects of teaching, but it went beyond that. So that showed me like these people, they really care about getting students to a place where their interests and their passion line up, and that they can pursue a career in something. Like it was very meaningful for me to witness that, because the teacher now is not really, they weren't necessarily focusing on, again, like the nitty gritty technical aspects of the job, more about how do we promote the skilled trades, how do we build the skills that they're going to need when they leave high school. So it's really much of a bigger conversation about their purpose, which I wasn't expecting to see today. It fired me up.
There awesome. You go, right?
It's awesome.
Yeah. Change this episode title. We're fired up today.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I think I guess, can we jump into the second question a bit? Like, how do you maintain that inspiration and motivation over the long term? Like, I think about other sources too. Like, I have a drive in.
You're answering your own question now?
Yeah, I'm going to.
Okay, go ahead.
Like I got this drive. I got a drive in. I'm a big podcast guy, and we've talked about educational podcasts, right? Yeah. Like at length, and you've shared some with me, and shared some back with different people, and just like I think, you can get just so caught up in like the same world. Like I need to get out of that sometimes. So like thinking about. I shared one episode with you this week about the Glass and Out podcast, which is a hockey coaching podcast. And I just feel like, like I love teaching. Like I do miss the classroom. I love this job. Like not going back to the classroom, right?
No.
But you're a teacher in different ways. You're still molding kids, and you're working with adults. And I love that opportunity to do that. And, I coach 9 and 10-year-old girls. Coach them hockey, and this is like this world where I'm still inspired to still be that teacher and learn from people who are really good at what they do, coaching hockey and being leaders there. And there's a lot of crossover between coaching, and that's that leadership piece, and just taking some of those ideas by experts and people learning and people in the middle of that and bringing that into our role here. And it's just like it's just through a different lens. Absolutely. It's not full that edge you speak. Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because I've learned a lot from those groups of people too. But it's just like, again, another way to maintain that inspiration and motivation for me to keep going and kind of like have that parallel track of like, hey, I'm learning to become like this 9 and 10-year-old coach for girls who are learning how to play hockey, and also at the same time using those same skills that I'm developing there in my role here at our school.
So much crossover. Yeah, I can imagine that's amazing learning, and probably different than your experience coaching like teenage boys.
For sure, yeah. Remember those days, right?
Yeah. Maybe your approach is a bit different.
Yeah, probably.
Probably learning some new skills now.
It should be.
It should be different.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because that's what I was thinking about while I was at this site today. But just about how you can learn from outside of your own discipline, really. Yeah. And that I get motivated by all sorts of things. So when people ask me, like, what do I listen to or what do I read, sometimes it surprises people, because it's not, it's not just like leadership, like in education, so to speak. It's leadership beyond, or people are doing some things like totally outside of this discipline. And even in my own, friend group outside of school or my work life, there's a lot of people that I connect with that are doing things that have nothing really to do related with education, but they're leaders in their own right, in their own fields. And they're passionate about what they're doing. And, you start to think that's where like our students end up in places like that, in different settings. And it's not like just a silo of what education can be sometimes. I think having that openness to other perspectives helps you in your own job. Kind of like you're saying, like, I think maybe even like, Ted Lasso kind of thing. Like, he was an American football coach, went to coach, is that what it was?
Yeah, you got it.
Soccer.
Yeah.
But like, some of those things they can translate, right? You don't need to know the specific, but there's some things that you can just carry over. They're universal. Right. And I think that's kind of what I saw a little bit today. That fired me up. And then also when I'm speaking out to people that are, in their careers and the way they're speaking about their job and how they operate and what they do, and even like maybe management roles that are outside education, like friends that I have, I find like so many parallels now to what I'm doing that I never really kind of considered as much before, but I am considering a lot more now. Yeah. But if you're talking about like how do we keep ourselves like inspired, I would say generally what we just talked about would be, you could summarize it by saying staying like curious, staying humble, and then believing that you can learn from anybody. Because that's what you're describing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, for me, it's just like it brings a clarity that, when you're taking on those education leadership podcasts or journals or books or whatever, and then you're in it all day, sometimes it just gets a little too much, and you just want to hear a different perspective.
That's right.
And that perspective is so valuable. The other thing I'm going to add too is even just seeing my own kids go through it now, and they're obviously young in elementary school, but getting outside their wheelhouse and challenging themselves in different things in school and outside of school, and you're like, you know what, this is the next generation that we're kind of laying the groundwork for.
Absolutely.
Too. And you're thinking or I think to myself, what kind of experience do I want my kids to have when they get to secondary school? And you're thinking about what should school look like for them? And you're kind of I got that in my mind, I got to say. And I'm thinking about what kind of skills I want them to develop and experiences I want them to have. And, that keeps me going a bit too, to be curious and learn more. And then kind of push the envelope on some certain things too.
That's right.
So they get to those experiences.
That's a great point. And I use that same sort of informal test for myself when I'm evaluating places that I'm working in. And I'm always, especially in this current role that we're here now, I'm blessed to be at this school. I think there's just boundless opportunity for students when they're here. And I think about my own kids, and I think about which of our staff they would probably really latch onto and thrive under. And there's just so many people that give so much, that inspire so many students, and that's to me that's truly inspirational too.
Absolutely.
Keeps me going.
Yeah. Okay, so Jordan, to get back to our agenda here. Thinking about your mentors and people in your own professional network, you kind of mentioned your friend group and outside your professional network, but how do they inspire you to keep you going?
Yeah, I think just keeping in contact with certain people that push your thinking is really important. I know I have a few that I don't talk to every day, and when I kind of maybe lose my excitement about something, or I'm maybe losing a bit of steam, I try and connect with those people again, because they always seem to reignite the fire. And a lot of them are definitely outside of education. And I think just staying in contact with them and keeping the dialogue open, and just not getting too far away from that inspiration, and just keeping that connection. So, for example, I have this person that I see pretty much, it's almost like clockwork every summer. It's when I'm feeling like I have a bit more free time, and they know I have free time, so they sort of somehow connect with me. It just kind of works out that way. And this person's a very accomplished business person in the construction industry, but we don't talk about construction. We talk about building. We talk about not building like construction, like building community, building teams. For him, it's about keeping certain heritage things alive in his own with his background, and just things he does to foster community, and that's so relatable to school leadership. So and it's funny because he's, like I said, an accomplished business person. We don't talk about that. We talk about, I guess, the skills that he uses in his other areas of his life that he's growing and fostering community. And I think that's not school, but it's something that really is related. It really connects to what I feel like my mission is sometimes, and I get a lot from that. So when I know there's people like that, I always try and stay connected to them, right? And if there's new people that pop up that I feel like, oh man, I can learn a lot from that person, I'm not shy to reach out to people and ask them this or that. So I think staying open to the connection, and then also not being afraid to reach out to people that you're really seeing wow, that's cool. I'd like to learn more about that, right?
Right.
What about you?
Yeah. Well, obviously, I think it's for you're looking for people to push your thinking, I guess. Especially when we're talking about inspiration. We're not talking about the day-to-day operation or procedures of a school. You're really thinking what's going to keep me going? What's the next thing? And it's those a formal mentor, sure, but informal ones too. That people who are going through at the same time as me. You're hey, what are the things that you're doing at your school? What are you working on? You're just trying to get out of your own box to hear what's out there. And then somebody who's more experienced than us in our school board, who has another role now, used to be a principal of this building, but somebody who would challenge my thinking no matter what, and like asking like questions like, hey, have you considered this? Like, what are you doing about this thing? Like, have you heard about this? Like what would be your response to that? And you're like, yeah, you know what? Like, those are challenging questions, but questions that are valid. And if I'm not thinking about that, like nothing's going to get done about it either, right? So
Absolutely.
You're really looking to create a positive change, and sometimes you have blind spots, right? And those other people just kind of fill that in and say, hey, like, what are you doing about this new thing, right?
That's right.
Or this problem. I've noticed this problem in our schools or our school board or whatever. Like, how are you working on it? Yeah. And like, these are some of the ideas that I have. Like, they're just challenging you to push your thinking a bit further.
Right?
Right?
That's awesome. Yeah, and the other thing I would say, I think you kind of said it without saying it, is that I'm definitely drawn to people that are interested in possibilities.
Yeah.
And are not afraid to explore like new frontier. That gets me going. I know that for sure. Like, when I see people like breaking ground, like trying something that nobody's done or very few people have done, or they heard it happen somewhere else in the world, like, I'm gonna try it here. That gets me really fired up. I'm like, wow, okay, like, good for you. First of all, not like, if you're gonna do anything like that or bring something new to your school, you gotta figure out a lot of things. You gotta first understand the concept, and then be able to mobilize people to see that as a realistic vision too. So the people that do those things, they have to be great leaders. Yeah. So you can learn so much from them because they're bringing a new concept, new idea, maybe in some cases convincing or selling the idea to other people. They've done some pretty hard work to get any traction going on their concept or idea, and I love people that just are pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah,
it gets me fired up.
Yeah. Okay.
What you got?
You ready for another one?
Yeah, go.
Okay. So, what are some of the things that you do to inspire staff here and create a positive school culture? We're thinking about being fired up in this episode. Like, how do we fire people up in our school?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think that there's some people that are already fired up. So I think step one is don't extinguish the fire.
Yeah.
Because that can happen. And
absolutely.
That's not
and it
good.
Does. It does happen.
And it does, right? So I guess that would be my step one. So when I first came here, I thought, who's fully lit? Like, who's fully on fire? Who's like doing some things that got them going and feeling good about themselves, and they are just really into it. Like, don't extinguish that. That's number one. And if you feel like maybe you need a different direction, maybe it's a conversation about what they're up to and how you see it working out, but never, like, you can't extinguish a fire that's going, right? Unless there's like detrimental. But we're talking about being inspired and doing important things. Keep that one going. And then I think maybe it's also in a weird way, like, I guess not in a weird way, but praising the people that are doing those things, so that other people see that as like important. When people are doing something, shining a light on those people that are doing some great things, so that other people are seeing, the boss or whatever, our administrators recognize that is something that's valuable. And so that's another way to create that kind of culture of people wanting to realize their passions. And then the other thing is also just having conversations with people to find out what it is they even are interested in, and being open to that, and then also maybe counseling them on how they could, have their vision play out in the workspace that they're in right now. Because everyone has a passion for something somewhere, and some people it's really just about teaching and pedagogy, and some people have some other ideas that they want to manifest in the school that have to do with like community building, or offering extra opportunities for students. I think just being open to those possibilities, and having a baseline of maybe you're going to say yes first. If people bring something to you, they're usually already fired up about it, right? Like, if someone's come with you an idea, they've thought it through. They're not just like walking in your office saying, "Hey, like, can we talk about something?" And they have no idea. And then
I would say sometimes I didn't think things through, but yeah, you're right. Like they're like
thinking about it. They probably thought about it, when they woke up in the morning.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna go talk to him today because I got this great idea. It's time. I'm gonna go tell him.
Yeah.
And then so when they're coming with that, they're already energized. So I think again, not dampening that, and then also just being encouraging it in the way that it needs to manifest in your school. If there's if it's, you have to obviously gauge the risk associated with whatever someone's bringing to you for safety purposes, but you want to just encourage that idea and maybe just help people extend their idea and elaborate on their thinking before you actually move something.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
But definitely just encourage people, and if your default answer is yes, but let's talk further. That's a good default.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. Let's explore that further. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll meet again next week or something like that. What about you? Like, how do you...
Well, yeah, I just want to add on
inspire-
to actually some of the things that you were saying too, and sometimes that's bringing something to them too. Like
Correct.
the idea that you know your staff and you know like what makes people tick and what they're into, because you're right. I think that's a great point that you brought up. Like, what is their passion? Some people are really passionate about like pedagogy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to push the envelope in pedagogy, and I'm going to, share what I know about that. Other people, like you said, community building, or develop people's faith, or athletics, or whatever that might be in a school. And there's not a lot of people who are all those things. It's too draining to be all of it.
Yeah.
But
it's a great point.
finding those opportunities and connecting them with the people in the building that are right for them, I think that's a big piece of
That's a great point.
recognizing somebody.
Great point.
Right?
Connecting people is
Connecting them. And then, I lost my train of thought here. Okay.
Want me to pick you up?
Yep.
You want to go to the next question?
Yeah, let's go to the next one. There we go.
Okay,
I think you
so-
said most of it. I just wanted to add a
You're
couple
just going to
things.
tie it up nicely, but...
Yeah. We're drawing
We'll
it out
tie it
now.
up at the end.
There we go.
Okay. So really, it's the last question we have here is how do you, Matt, stay inspired and keep like an innovative stance in the face of challenges and setbacks? Because there always is.
Yep.
And even when I tell you that I want to say yes to everything, as much as that's well-intentioned, there's some like obvious times where I can't. So
Yeah.
like when you have a challenge or a setback, how do you keep kind of stay inspired?
That's a good question. And let me think of an example here to kind of play it out. Like you've had a bad morning. You're like having a bad parent meeting, or you're dealing with a difficult situation, and you're just like that last 30 minutes did not go well, and it kind of sucked the life out of me. What I always do is get in with the students, whether that be between transitions in our school or just popping into a classroom. Like just being with the students and just being around them and, the energy in our building, that's what just picks me up right away. I find it works every single time.
Oh yeah, right. Like I think there's always someone that's going to. You could look. Yeah, it doesn't take you long to find someone that's gonna.
Yeah.
Pick you back up.
Yeah, and then the other piece is just look for wins, because I can think of examples where I was trying to work with a teacher to, I can't think of a specific case, but you're working with a teacher and you're wanting that person to try something new or learn something and take that into their classroom, and they're putting the roadblocks up. They don't want to do that, and a lot of the time they don't have to. It's just you're trying to do some learning, some mentoring with them, and it's just you look for small wins, because they're not ready for it to go from A to B where your B is.
That's right.
Maybe they're going to 8.1 first.
That's right.
And you're looking for those small wins along the way. And I think it's just important to acknowledge those as you work with adults in the building too.
Absolutely. I think also maintaining like a stance of optimism and hope.
Yep.
Even if there is like some minor setbacks, or give yourself some a realistic runway of time if you are trying to bring something to fruition, because it doesn't always happen instantly. I think sometimes we live in like a bit of an instant gratification culture. So when somebody brings something to you, it's like maybe they're so fired up like they want to start tomorrow, and maybe you just gotta you might want to commit to the vision, but maybe like the strategy isn't quite there yet.
Yeah.
So you're saying, I love your idea. Like we really want that to happen here, but like can we talk about maybe the strategy or how this rolls out, or like, and just maybe convincing people it might take some time, but that we're going to get there some way, shape, or form. And even for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
For your own ideas. Like, okay, I might need, if that's my end goal, like, does it need to happen tomorrow? Maybe we're trying to get to, but maybe if it happens by the end of the semester, we're in good shape.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Okay.
Okay, you can do that. How about you do the outro?
Okay.
You've been doing a good job with it.
Thanks for listening to Becoming a Principal podcast. We're grateful for the time again that you spent with us, and we hope we've been helpful in some way to you. Be sure to check out our Instagram at Becoming a Principal podcast. Have a great day, everyone.